Hello, Libra. Welcome to Ula Tea. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So tonight, Libra, we have the seven of swords. My goodness, this is my last reading, so I got to get it together. Seven of swords, which is all about futility. Okay, so what does that mean, right? It's that energy of we put in the work, we do the thing, and it just doesn't take, right? Something's wrong. I don't see what it is, but I'm trying. The best way I can describe this feeling is, have you ever built furniture from one of those places? You order it, it comes to your house, and you got to build like the bookcase or whatever. Frustrating. Frustrating. And especially if you're a real clear thinker like I am, and always, every time, try to put it together without looking at the instructions. Why? Why do we do it? I don't know. But it is a recipe for frustration. And that energy, now, think about that. That's the Seven of Swords energy. But we're going to get it together, right? We're going to figure it out. Let's do that. We're going to take a look at these tea leaves. I'm going to go ahead and turn them here. They're very different if you don't turn them. Okay, we're gonna lift and take a look. And so I also want to say thank you for deciding to click on this reading. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I wouldn't be mad at ya. So the first thing that I really feel like is going on here is a reunion with a good friend. I don't think that this is romantic. This feels like a best friend or a good friend, maybe somebody you worked with for a long time. But there is going to be an intentional getting back together. It doesn't feel like an ongoing thing, but definitely a good visit, okay? We have the dog here. This represents somebody who is very loyal, a best friend. Looking up at the sky. Now, we also have, it looks like another dog over here who is sitting. And I almost kind of feel like maybe you were in a relationship or a situation where somebody didn't like somebody else. Like maybe your spouse didn't like your best friend, or, like your new girlfriend, boyfriend didn't like your best friend from college, or, whatever. For whatever reason. I don't know why. But it feels like there was no like distinct falling out or like I can't talk to you or anything like that. But I feel like, you kind of grew apart and maybe you didn't see each other as often or whatever it was. But for some reason, it feels like maybe that spouse or that person that was in your life has backed off a little bit. Now, maybe it is that you've gotten into a part of your relationship where you really kind of are doing more of your own things, or you just are so comfortable with each other that like there's not that weird energy that kind of arises sometimes when you have like a good friend and a spouse or whatever. But whatever it is, and maybe it is you like broke up, or maybe your spouse has since kind of, I don't know, passed away or something like this. But it feels like that energy is gone. And it opens up this room for, yeah, kind of at least touching base with them, right? And so I do feel like this lifts your spirit more than you realized it would, you know? I think so often, and this is just life, right? As time goes on, we move around, we have things come into our life, people and places are not as much of a priority anymore, you know? And it's just part of like the natural evolution of things. And we don't always kind of like sit and lament like, you know, because you're still on good terms. And also we all have these like parasocial relationships where we keep up with people like on social media without even talking to them. Right? You can feel like you're still connected and you're good friends and you haven't even talked in like 3 years because you've been reading each other's Facebooks or, you know, YouTubes or, you know, whatever. And you feel like you know, are still know each other well, and yet you never communicate directly. So I feel like in this instance, it's really, it's a time to see each other connect, to have that feeling, this connection, this remembrance. And I don't know, you know, I think that it's more important than you realize. And that's what I was getting to. Yeah, like these people, they leave our lives and then all of a sudden you see each other and there's such a wealth of emotion, you know, like a sensation overwhelms you and you don't realize, like, I have really missed you. I cannot believe I forgot what it felt like to be in your presence. You know, there's a warmth of home in that. And I feel like you experience that and realize, you know, this is something that maybe is more worthwhile than I realized. Like, you know, or I took for granted, right? And so, yeah, I think this is going to be an important reunion. Now, we also have this face right here, and I keep looking at it, and I'm feeling like we have a youthful masculine energy. And we have the letter CT. But the C is important. It is repeated over and over. So I almost feel like there is a person with a C name. And this is a weird one, but I almost kind of feel like this is a person that maybe is interested in you, or they're just like trying to like find ways to be in your life. I don't know that it's in a super creepy way. I think there's just a fondness there. But the thing about this person is they have a really dark energy. Like they seem like somebody who always has like a black cloud around them. I feel like you find them quite interesting, and it is like a worthwhile acquaintance, maybe a friendship, but there's just this feeling that they bring around, and I don't know if they even know that about themselves, but it is kind of this like doom and gloom, right? And I feel like for you, it is something that you see all of the good qualities, but it actually affects you. And I'm now realizing that you're probably an empath. Their energy, directly or even indirectly, really alters how you're feeling about your day. And so I feel like it's your natural instinct to kind of stay away from them. But I feel like there's something. It's like there was work that needs to be done here. And I can't help but think that this person And I wonder if they're maybe a Cancer or they have the qualities of the crab. But this person has had a lot of death in their life. I don't know if it's just like people they know have passed away. They've had, you know, and just maybe like their family, you know, like maybe they're the only person left in their family, or it might even be that they work within a field that like medical, or maybe they work in like the mortuary system or something like this. But it seems like it is something that is very active in their life. It's not something that is like a mystery to them. They have been around it a lot. And I think for you, that maybe is what's off-putting. Even if it's not like at the front of your mind, it's just there's something about it that's very macabre, right? And I feel like even the way that they express themselves, maybe they're very open about these kind of topics. I feel like it makes you feel a little uncomfortable. So I feel like this is being emphasized, not so much about this person, although I do feel like there is that font, like they just, like they want to be your friend. But I think this is more about maybe giving you some direction in your self-work, right? Looking at these places where things maybe do feel a little uncomfortable. Now, I don't think that this is like a phobic thing, but we all have kind of an aversion to death and even the death drive at times. And so I feel like for you, this is maybe something to sit and consider. Maybe this is the thing to ponder, the thing to really contemplate, right? Why this aversion? Why this particular person? Okay. Now, we have an older person, a masculine energy. We have the letters JH attached to them in some way. Also a cat. So I'm wondering if this is maybe an elderly person in your life or an older person who, I almost wonder if it's like something about maybe going to live in an assisted place, or you know, maybe you want them to move in with you, or maybe it is that like your kids want you to move in so they can help take care of you. But there is this feeling of like, I don't want to live under the rules of somebody else. And I think that's the big thing, is that there's this real kind of like, don't tell me what to do kind of attitude. Now, we also have a person here who's feeding birds. We have a horse down here who is saddled, but nobody is on the horse. So there is not the movement yet. But then we also have the hawk, which is related to Horus and related to the sun. So I do feel like there is going to have to be some kind of decision made pretty soon here, because I feel like the situation with maybe living alone is something that is not very sustainable for this person. So I do feel like there's going to be some shifting in routines and living spaces. And, you know, if this is like your parent or maybe a sibling or somebody who is going to be living in a, you know, a assisted community, or, you know, like a retirement community or some kind of nursing home or something like this, I feel like you're going to be the one that is visiting most often and is most involved. So this will be kind of your schedule altered in some way. Now, if this is you that is, you know, kind of considering like, you know, maybe it's time to downsize, maybe my kids are right, I should move in, or I need to, you know, think about getting some help around the house or whatever. You know, I know that this must not be the ideal thing, and we all know that, you know, we have the potential for this, you know, to happen to each of us, of course, right? You know, I don't know about you, but I do kind of look forward to going to a retirement community. You know, I kind of have this like dream of being in like one of those ones with like, you know, the mobile homes and the little golf carts and, you know, playing bingo and all that kind of thing. So one day, right? But yeah, I feel like, you know, I guess I'm a really resistant person to change, especially when it's something presented by somebody else. Like, I like things to be my idea. That's the Virgo, right? That's the Virgo in me. But I understand how hard it can be. The only thing I can ask you is keep your mind open. You know, consider that, you know, even if it's a big change and it's something that seems very scary or uncomfortable or whatever, there are always blessings, even in our troubles, right? And so there might be something there that you just aren't seeing yet, you know, and that's what I feel. It's like it is that gem that is hidden away in that rock, right? It falls, it breaks open, and you see, okay, there's something very special there. Now, we also have the dinosaur. So I do feel like with your anxiety, and then all of these kind of floating around here, there seems to be an anxiousness. But I feel like, you know, there are moments where you just kind of almost want to, you know, just tell it how it is, let it be known, you know. I'm not like going to do what anybody tells me to, you know, just kind of like a very defiant posture. And I feel like at times, you know, and I think it's very rare for a Libra, but I think at times, yeah, it does. It comes up and you feel like, okay, well, I'm about to pop off here. Everybody chill out because, you know, you're not trying to hear what anybody has to say to you. But I feel like this is another aspect of the work. Right? Not making trouble for yourself, not making it more painful than it needs to be. Finding those blessings in a situation where maybe sometimes we feel a little out of control of things. You know, sometimes it's not ideal, and I know it. But the only thing that we can control is how we react to things. You know, and making the best of whatever is happening. You know, if that is having a parent move in, or, you know, having to face like, yeah, my life is going to be changing a little bit here, you know, putting that fear, that anxiety, that anger into something useful for yourself and working through some of it. Also allowing yourself to feel these ways if you do. You know, it's not forever. We put a lot of emphasis on not being angry, not feeling rage, you know, and if it rules you, then yeah, of course, you know, you have to try to find a way to not be in that mode all the time, right? But sometimes, yeah, we do feel fear, and it's okay to be afraid. And sometimes we do feel anger, and it's okay to be angry. It's not who you are. It is a moment. and it will come and it will go. And it is useful and it can be detrimental, but we make the best of what we have, right? And we don't hold on to it. We don't cling to it. And so, Libra, I feel like this is a time of transformation. Unfortunately, I don't have any great closure for you. But at the same time, that's a good thing. It leaves things open. You are the one that gets to choose your adventure, right? And so let's do our lucky numbers. We're going to do 3 of them. 31. We have number 31. 33. And 5. Okay, and we will do our gratitude affirmation cards. Diamonds in the day. I am thankful for beautiful moments. Every day is full of sparkling diamonds. A loved one's smile, a cool breeze, a tasty treat. I commit to seek out and enjoy glittering moments hidden throughout my day. Practice. Set this card in a place you'll see at the end of your day. Think back on those moments of beauty in your day and say a prayer of thankfulness for them. Say a prayer for thankfulness for them. All right. And then we'll end with our inner child oracle cards. And I'll stop. Oops. Oh, I guess it's this one. This one is about to jump out. 18. It is okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. Yeah, and then when we start to realize the truth doesn't, I don't even know what truth is, honestly. There are so many perceptions and ways to experience things that it's hard to know. I'm one of those, I need to study up on like Neoplatonism a little bit more or something, because this mama does not believe in empirical truths. And that's like the ultimate, right? Everything is so very fluid. But yeah, I absolutely, what was the end? Thankfulness. What was our truth? Oh, this is the wrong card. I was like, wait a second. There's no truth in this. Is it on here? Yeah, that's what it was. You can tell. I'm like, okay, I'm already thinking about my next thing I have to go cook real quick. Get everybody ready for our next event. My husband and my daughter. But yeah, not everything's based on truth. Yeah, the truth is, to each person, it's all in the eye of the beholder and the witness and, the experiencer and so on. So, yeah, if you're misunderstood by somebody, whose fault is that? I don't know. Does it matter ultimately? Probably not, And I will say that I think one of the biggest things that holds people back is we worry about how we're being perceived. It's none of our business, really. If I sat here and thought about how it's being perceived doing these readings, all the time, I would never do them. It doesn't matter to me, ultimately. Of course, I'm a human being. I'm sensitive. I'm probably more sensitive than most people, but, yeah, and I do care somewhere in myself, but ultimately, in the greater scheme of things, who cares? Be wrong. Be misunderstood. Let them be wrong. Whatever. Give yourself the freedom to be. All the many things. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. I think that's the end. It's raining here. It's cold. It was 70 degrees. Now it's like, I think 25 degrees. Yesterday it was 70. It was muggy. Today I woke up and it's 25 degrees. It's just, the world feels topsy-turvy a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I love you, Libra. I appreciate you. It's also Saturday. I have a lot of stuff. We're going to go see Mozart's Requiem. I think that's what they're doing tonight. And we're taking my daughter for the first time to see the orchestra. And she's been to some plays and she's been to a few musicals and to the movie theater. So I know she'll be good. But I am just so excited for her to see the orchestra. I think she's really gonna dig it. So hopefully you have some fun stuff going on this weekend, or if you're watching this, it's the week. Hopefully you're having a nice week. Other than that, yeah, I love you. Take care of you. Oh, if you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. Other than that, go check out my husband's channel over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's amazing. Yeah, that's it. All right. I love you, Libra. We'll talk later. Good night.